to this survey, because the survey seems to be the center of everything that is going on and what we've been talking about. And some of the answers to the questions you mentioned, other surveys and things like that, it seems to me, and maybe I'm wrong, but as part of that process that this company that was hired for whatever amount of money that they did, didn't they have some input? Or I kind of get the feeling that somewhere along the line, the national organization seems to, like they should already know what's important to the members, or have some kind of idea, or have an inkling of, we really need to do this because this is what everybody's telling us, and this is, you know, and maybe this organization that did this survey says, these are some of the ideas that we have to think that, you know, would help you because we have experience with all these other organizations that we've done work for. I mean, has there been any conversation of that, and, or did they actually say, you know, you need to go out to your members, you need to find out what's important to them, and you need to do something about it?
Well, if you, I can understand that you might not have any faith in representative government right now, but the way it's supposed to work is AIA-Dallas or AIA-Fort Worth has a gathering like this. I was stunned when I started as a TSA president-elect. When I went, I'd go, one of the little rituals is you go around, you visit every chapter. If you're a staff component, you meet with the board, because there is no big meeting where all 1,500 or 2,000 members show up. Whereas if I met in Midland or in Northeast Texas, every member in the chapter would be there, and they'd be looking me right in the eye. So, but theoretically, there's this, if AIA-Dallas is unhappy with something, it finds its way to Kirk, who tells his state director, who goes, and it finds its way to James, and it you know, at the next AIA board meeting, it's on the agenda for discussion, which is why our agenda packets are 500 pages long. But, I mean, that's the way it's supposed to work. And yeah, we think we have a pretty good handle on what's going on out there. But if you sat on one of those boards, like you mentioned earlier, you realize that there comes a day when you really would like to know what a third party thinks. Do you really know? Or are you just fooling yourself? So, you know, I think surveys are crucial, have a crucial role in it.
Well, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have the survey. What I'm saying is, as part of the survey, as part of the work that they did, wasn't there some kind of conclusion as part of it, or, you know, is this, of what we're going through now, is this something that they suggested, or is this something that the National AIA decided that they were going to do as a result of the survey?
Well, I think I said this to one of the first questions. The one thing that I'm terrified of doing, and again, I'm just a past president. I don't have any authority anymore. But the one thing that the national component is terrified of is saying, AIA-Fort Worth, AIA-Dallas, here's your plan. We've done the survey. We've come up with a plan like AIM or Walk the Walk or whatever. Here it is. You know, go out in your communities and spread the word. The sense is you are sick and tired of that. There's too many programs. There's too much annual changing from year to year. The thought was, here's what we found out. What do you think? And I don't know how the best way of, we're taking notes, we're taping this, the best way of getting this feedback back, or the consensus of that, this voting, this electronic voting thing, I'm totally fascinated with this. We have this expensive technology at the convention where you could get the pulse of the room instantaneously, and that's the best I can think of for getting that.
Paul? That's just real quick. So you had what, 30,000 people that you did this survey with this group, and then they came back and they said, here's the 10 areas, and now they're saying, now go back to the components and validate what we just told you. Is that what?
No, that's not it.
If you believe in this, what do you think? How do you think we should act on it? Or if you don't believe in it, what do you believe in?
Well, I mean, I think you've got your 10 points. Okay, your 10, and then you got to vote today of the top 3 priorities. So then you got to go back to, and hopefully not AIA National is going to necessarily be doing all this without input from like TSA and say Dallas or Fort Worth AIA as an example, because if you're talking about, as an example, engaging emerging professionals, it's not gonna happen at national. It's the grassroots, it's local and state. So they may have to turn around and say, state, we need you to do this, we can't do it. But what group is going to decipher that, or, go through all that minutia and decide how that's going to be resolved?
Jump in.
This is the conclusion, and then the question is, this isn't just pointed at AIA National, the question is, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to make the profession of architecture through AIA better for our world? What are you gonna do at the state level? What are you gonna do at the national level? What are we all gonna do? That's the question, not what are they gonna do. It's not about what national's gonna do for us or for the emerging professionals. What are you gonna do for the emerging professionals? Are you gonna mentor emerging professionals at a convention? Or, what are you gonna do? So that's the idea behind this.
It said we. When AIA split apart,
We.
it said we.
It said we. It's not I, it's we. So that's really that's the reason that they're pushing that down to the local level, is to give us the opportunity to think about what needs to be done, and then to end it by saying, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So what is AIA-Dallas, what is AIA-Fort Worth going to do differently than what they're doing now to make this work better? And really, the question is wide open. Do we have an AIA-Dallas and an AIA-Fort Worth? I mean, what's the real question?
Is it like, could you somehow communicate that better? Like how are we going to do kind of like, Kennedy's speech, what do not for your country ask, what can you do for the, so is
That's
that,
what they're saying.
yeah. And I don't know if like that gets across.
I don't think it is. I think you're right. I think that may be, it's part of the communication problem.
It's a beautiful point in the conversation, though,
Yeah.
Paul, from that. I think